If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
What's up, everybody?
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Remix. It's
Happy
the
Halloween!
Halloween season.
I love it. Where'd you get that soundbite there?
Myinstants.com.
What does it say? Just Happy
Yeah,
Halloween?
it literally says Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Baby's first Halloween.
Oh, dude, what? That'd be so funny.
It's just a cute
I
little
did.
Halloween.
I played this one for because I was trying to think of, spooky Halloween things for this episode, and this one came, and I was like, this is perfect for the movie we're talking about.
Whoa.
Oh, we're talking about Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That reminds me of like going through haunted houses and stuff like that. Or,
Oh
like,
yeah,
going
exactly.
to, like Universal's like Halloween Horror Nights or whatever. Did you ever go to those?
What?
Like, have you ever been to like
Like a amusement park, like one?
Yeah, like Universal.
So
one or anything
Wisconsin,
like that?
they had like a Six Flags like near Chicago, and like I remember like
Uh-huh.
people would always go to the Fright Nights, but it was like a 3-hour drive, so I never did. But when I was in Utah Lagoon, like they had like their Halloween stuff, and my wife and I like always wanted to go, but it just never worked out that we could. We were close one time to going where it would have worked, but we didn't have a babysitter for my son, so. But they always looked really fun, and people always talked about how, it was a fun experience.
Yeah, they are fun. I've never been to the Universal one, which I've always wanted to, because the Universal one seems cool. Like they always have like like The Walking Dead or like different themed ones like from movies, which is cool. But I've only ever been to the one at Busch Gardens, which is also cool, and they have a lot of cool haunted houses and everything. But it's not, it's just like, okay, this is the clown one, and this is like the witches one or whatever. And they're always fun, but it's always kind of crazy because I feel like every time I go through those things, like everyone's like pushing each other because there's always like someone behind you that's freaking out and they just want to run through it, and so like people shoving and like screaming.
No, that's so true.
It's just chaotic. Like people like are like ah. And I remember there was someone that like left a shoe, or like someone like lost their shoe, and like so like someone's dad was like going backwards through it, like trying like excuse me, pardon me. Yeah. It's just like
defeats the purpose.
It's just really funny.
That is.
But so they are fun.
So have you been to like some like when was the last time you went to like a haunted house?
Man, it's been I think the last time I went to the Busch Gardens one was in 2016, I think. Okay. So it's been a little while. Yeah.
The last one I went to I think was 2018. It was just like a little farmhouse but I remember in Wisconsin, like me and my friends, we went to this like haunted house that was like in an abandoned like middle school, and that shit was huge. Like they had like everything decked out, like every room like had something, and they kind of like try to make it seem like it was like an abandoned hospital, so it had like that kind of like setting a little bit, and so it's kind of freaky, but it was fun. But I can't remember like that much details about it, just that it was just crazy. So
yeah, that sounds
I don't know. I feel like as I get older, I feel like I'm starting to love Halloween a lot more.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because you think like as a kid, like
it's
I don't know. I just like I feel like as a kid, I was like really into it, and then like when I got into high school and like that kind of stuff, like I just didn't give a shit anymore. And
Mhm.
then now I'm just like, oh yeah, like watching all these scary movies and like going like pumpkin carving, like and doing all this stuff. Like it's been kind of fun.
Yeah, I think the same thing happened to me where, as a kid I always loved it, and then all of a sudden you get old enough where it's like, oh, like I can't really trick or treat anymore, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
and and then you're like, and I feel like I don't know, you get like there's a certain age where like I feel lame if I dress up and all
Yep.
this stuff, and so then it's like, oh,
It's like
okay,
Jim
this,
from The Office.
yeah, exactly. So it's like all of a sudden it's like, okay, so this is it's you feel like something gets like ripped away from you and you no longer have Halloween. But
Exactly.
then as you get older, you realize like, oh, there's things that you can do and
Hmm.
there's ways you can enjoy Halloween. Um,
Exactly.
but yeah, I agree. Halloween's fun. It's a fun holiday.
It is fun, and it's exciting that on this Halloween we watched Halloween.
Hit me with that baby Halloween again. Let me hear it. Oh yeah, that too.
Happy Halloween!
Thank you.
Perfect, right? Perfect.
Yes. Yeah, I love
That's literally what they should have had for the opening credits for this movie.
it.
Just like that
Happy
music's
Halloween.
coming in, and it's just like, oh hey, like when the Halloween title popped up, it just says Happy Halloween.
That would be
Perfect.
epic.
Maybe that's just like in a Blu-ray special edition or something like that, right?
Yeah, probably the Argento cut. Um, do you know what the original title was gonna be for Halloween?
Uh-uh.
Well, I just found out today. I never heard this before until today. I learned a few things today, but apparently, John Carpenter, director of the movie,
Mhm.
originally intended for the title to be called The Babysitter Murders.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Makes
then
sense with what
someone,
happened in the movie.
yeah, like I get it. But and then someone suggested, I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the producers or whatever. He suggested, he's like, why don't we call it Halloween? And then they're like, well, no one's ever used Halloween like in a movie title before, so why not? And so they did, and I'm glad they
It's
did.
iconic now. Like,
Hmm.
say Halloween, everybody thinks of obviously the holiday, but or this movie. So
Yeah, and
one of
yeah, and
those
whenever
things
I
where it's like a what if.
Definitely. And I can't think of like Halloween or just this time of year without thinking of that movie. And I feel like this movie just puts me in the Halloween spirit,
Yeah.
and just like it feel like the whole movie just feels like fall, like with all the leaves, and um feel just feels good.
Well, you
I
probably
and
don't
I
have to worry about leaves changing where you're at,
No, sir.
but still puts you in the mood. When
Heck
when
yeah.
it goes from 100 degrees to that cool night 89, that's
Ooh, that
fall.
cool chilly 89.
That's fall, huh?
Yeah, man, it's chilly. No, it was hot today, dude. I was outside sweating. I was like, isn't it? Isn't it freaking almost November?
It was 50 degrees here.
Hopefully. Oh, that's nice. That sounds nice. I'm
Yeah, the
jealous.
leaves are starting to change a little bit, so we're getting a little bit of
Aw,
that fall weather. Yeah, it's adorable.
adorable. Well, guess what, dude? This movie was filmed in spring, and it wasn't actually fall when they filmed it, and they actually hand cut and created and painted these leaves in the movie, and they would spread them out and like blow them around for all these scenes during the movie. So,
That doesn't surprise me. Where do they film it?
they
I feel like it was like in California or something like that.
yes, I think
Yeah.
it was. I can't remember where, but yeah, it's like California. Um, but yeah, they made all these leaves, and then after these shots, they would like all the cast and crew would go around and like pick them up, so they wouldn't have to make more. Like they'd try to reuse them
Damn,
because they
that's
would.
crazy. Can you imagine?
Yeah, yeah, they would make them all. Must have taken a lot of time.
That's like using fake snow, and then afterwards you're like, okay, guys, we got to shovel all this fake snow up because we have to use it again or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, that reminds me, like in Fargo. In Fargo, they used a lot of fake snow because they filmed like during, like in the summer or something like that. and there's the whole movie. There's always snow, so
Yeah,
there's,
exactly.
it's crazy. It's crazy how much work. Like, do you remember the scene in Fargo when they meet like on top of the that
Yeah,
parking garage and there's snow
yeah.
everywhere? All of that was fake, I think. I'm pretty sure.
It's crazy because that movie literally has like this whole like, feeling that like
Hmm.
it's freezing, like it's
Yeah.
cold all the time. Like it's like at
Yes.
least like -15 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy that they did that. It doesn't surprise me
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
So Halloween's a John Carpenter film from
Hmm.
1978. It's a movie that I kind of grew up watching a lot. I don't remember exactly when the first time I watched this movie was, but I do know that I've seen it a lot of times. And as I was watching it again today, I was like, or I mean, well, I had to finish watching it today before the podcast, but I was just thinking about it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I watch this movie every year, like at least like once, and like it's definitely one of the movies I've seen the most
Well, it has
in
to
my
be.
life.
I mean, I know
Yeah.
this was my first time seeing it, but I was thinking about it too when I was watching. I was like, why have I never really seen this movie? I feel like it's been on TV, but why did I never want to watch or something? And then when I was thinking about it, it was because I had like a group of friends that really hyped this movie up. And I
Mm.
think during that time I liked Friday the 13th. And so I
Oh.
feel like I know. So I feel like when they were hyping up Halloween and I was like, yeah, but Friday the 13th and like all these other ones, I was like almost like I feel like
That's
those were better. So I was like, oh,
uh-huh.
well, these guys are just hyping up too much. And I think I was just turned off from it. So that's why I never watched it.
That's funny.
And looking back now, I was like, why did I not watch this movie? Like that's so stupid that I had that idea.
Well, when
So
you say that, that makes sense. I feel like
no, yeah,
there's so many things that I do that with where things get hyped up too much and then I just don't care with certain things. You know what I mean? Like there's some things that where it's just like yeah, like if you didn't watch like if I didn't watch The Tiger King like the first week it came out, like
oh yeah,
after like a month I probably am like I'm never watching it because
oh
I'm
yeah,
tired of hearing people
exactly.
talk about it. Like I don't even want to see it anymore. Like things like that just so I get it. But that's crazy. And when you told me cuz I knew that you've seen like The Fly and you've seen John Carpenter's The Thing
Hmm.
and when you said you've never seen Halloween, like it just baffles me that I'm like, how have you seen The Thing and The Fly, but you've never seen Halloween?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, growing up, I saw Halloween, and then I slowly started discovering other things. And then I found out about The Thing like much later on, and I was like, oh wow, he did this other movie called The Thing, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. But no, you've seen The Thing and The Fly,
Yeah,
but never seen Halloween.
for me it was the opposite.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think like also going with that, I think it was because I liked Jason too, and um, I feel like also my friends were really hyping up Michael Myers, being like, "Oh, dude, he's like the he's like the best like serial killer like movie like in Halloween. Like
Mm,
Michael Myers is the best. Like Jason's not. Jason sucks." And I think like that just like was also like one of those main things.
yeah, you chose a side, and you're like, I can't. I'm not gonna watch
I
Halloween
can't
now.
back
So
down now, man.
I'm a Jason boy for life.
Well, I mean, dude, Jason X. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, bro.
Hell yeah, bro.
Jason in Space like set the tone for like every other movie that was gonna go to make.
It's a masterpiece.
Did you see that
Did,
picture I sent you where it was like
I was
your
just about to ask the po- podcaster boyfriend
yeah, and
and
then like the e-girl.
e-girl. Yeah, yeah, that was
I
great.
forgot how goofy looking that movie was, and when I saw that
It's
picture, I was like, "Holy
really
shit!"
funny. Yeah, it made when I saw that, it made me really want to watch that movie again.
Right? Kind of me too. That's funny.
Um,
Maybe next Halloween.
yeah, maybe next Halloween, just watch all of the Friday the 13th movies.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So okay, so it's your first time watching Halloween. I mean, what did you think of it? And did you is it so you know how we were talking about like with The Godfather, you
Yeah.
hadn't seen The Godfather before
Hmm.
and you kind of felt like you in some ways or even for me, like the first time I saw it, like I felt like I had seen it before because it's just so big in popular culture, and you've seen like like spoofs of these movies like on The Simpsons and like on all these like shows or like it's referenced to in movies. Like, did you have that feeling at all? Like, did you like have you seen any scenes or
So
um
to be honest, like I feel like when I was watching the movie, it felt like a brand new like experience. And I was
yeah,
actually really
nice.
glad about that because like I know Michael Myers and I know that obviously, but what was surprising, I was like, how does Michael Myers, I know he uses a knife, but is there like a specific way that he kills these characters? Like, I feel like,
Mhm.
you have all these guys that kind of do it a little bit brutal or something. So like watching the movie, I was like, this is kind of interesting, like the way that he does it. It was nice to kind of have like that little story of like him, especially in the beginning, where he kills his sister, right?
Yes.
And so,
I
like
think.
that whole, because I was so confused because the opening scene, it shows like someone in a costume, like grabbing a knife. And I loved how they shot it, like from like a camera's perspective, like of the
Hmm.
person. And so I loved how they did that. And then, you go in the room and then like he's like stabbing like the girl, and I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? And then, the camera pans out like when it shows like the parents coming home and it's like the little boy. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, okay. So this is how it starts. And then as the movie progresses, I just feel like obviously when they start introducing like the main characters, like, um Jamie Lee Curtis, like as Laurie, like with all of her friends. I'm like, obviously, like these guys are gonna be the center of it. But I still like didn't expect like I expected him to kind of like kill people to get to Laurie because what I liked about the movie was the fact that like it showed him like stalking her, and it was
Hmm.
like so it was always like that thing where it was like, oh, it reminded me of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where it's Leonardo DiCaprio where he's like drinking his beer and he's like, hey, 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 like that meme
Oh,
where he's like
oh,
pointing at the
oh,
TV. I'm like, oh, hey,
yeah.
there he is, there he is. So that was
Uh-huh.
kind of funny. And I was watching next to my wife and I was like, hey, do you see him? Do you see him? He's right there. There's Michael. Um, so, I mean, to answer your question, like, I guess, like, I don't know. It felt like a new experience. So I was glad about that. I mean,
That's cool.
obviously, I knew who Michael Myers was, but I still had a lot of mystery to it. But the one thing, though, that, I kept thinking about, and it's kind of funny, is so he was 6 years old when he, killed his sister or whatever. And
Hmm.
then, wait, am I doing the math right? So he was six
Uh,
in 1963. Okay, divide the two, and then 1978. Uh, Gotta bring the 45, and then subtract the. So 15 plus 6 makes him 21.
uh,
Dude,
21.
dude, Michael Myers as a 21-year-old, dude, he is strong. Holy shit, when he lifted up, what's his name?
Bob.
Bob? Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, he's 21 and he just lifted this man up like it was with ease. So yeah, that's what kind of grabbed my attention. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, he's a beefy boy.
Makes sense, dude. You get shot 20 times in the chest, you're okay.
Yeah, you like that?
He's working hard at that in that prison, man.
Yes, yes, he is. That's funny.
So yeah.
Um,
I just thought that was kind of funny, the fact that he was 21 basically, and like he lifted up this guy like with ease.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was like yeah, it was like Belial at the end of Basket Case when he
Yeah,
lifts
yeah.
up his brother. It's like,
uh,
holy shit, how did you do that? It's
no,
the
dude,
same.
that's so
He's
funny.
got that Belial strength in him, man.
Okay, real question. Who do you think's stronger? Lyle? Lyle or Michael?
I think I don't know, man. It's tough. I do think that they would become friends though. I think that they would become like allies.
I do.
Like
I
I don't
think Michael is stronger because Lyle couldn't hold on to his brother.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Myers has some like
maybe
superhuman
Lyle just
strength
has the
and
advantage in crotch lifting up. So
yeah.
maybe just have to.
Yeah, and I mean he's got those teeth too, you know. I don't know.
It's funny. Classic.
Um,
Still my
yeah.
favorite. And then it's Halloween. Still my favorite
Nice.
one.
I'm glad. Okay, well, if it's your favorite, please watch Brain Damage.
Okay.
Please watch Brain Damage. I don't know if you'll like it as much as Basket Case, but I think if you like Basket Case, you'll definitely enjoy Brain Damage. It's so much fun.
I just added it to my
Um,
watch list.
okay, good. I'm glad. Um, I really want to watch it again too. So, okay, my question is, um, this is something every time I watch. Well, every time I watch the first one, I have to think about this and remind myself um, that this is something that's not established in this movie. But what do you know, or what do you think? Is there any? Did you think that there was any kind of relation between Laurie and Michael?
Well, I mean, I got the impression from the 2018 one that came out that there was a relation.
Ah,
And
okay.
so, like, watching this, at first I was like, when he killed his sister or whatever, I was like, wait, so who's this Lori girl? But then as I was watching, I was like, oh, okay, like this is why. So I feel like since I haven't seen it and then I saw the trailer so much for 2018 Halloween,
Hmm.
I think that's what kind of like had me confused, like just in the very beginning. But then after that, like
Hmm.
I wasn't anymore. But like, are they or no? They're not, right?
So, well, so in this movie, there's nothing that's established. Like in this movie, it's just she's just some girl, and he's just he's just someone who's stalking her or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But in Halloween 2, which John Carpenter didn't direct Halloween 2, but he did I think co-write the script
Hmm.
for that movie, and he wrote her as like there's a reveal in that movie that they are brother and sister. And so for like the rest of all these sequels, like it's like, oh, they're brother and sister. And so in my mind, I always think of them as brother and sister. And then when I watch this one, I try really hard to remind myself, like, okay, they're not brother and sister, because I kind of almost wish that they didn't do that. Like I think it's scarier when it's just some guy
Oh yeah,
instead of
exactly.
being like, oh, it's your brother. I don't know. But yeah, I was just wondering if you knew that going into it or not, because it's just one of those things. It's like, I don't know.
I mean, it would make sense for me, like watching it and being like, and then the next one being like, oh yeah, they are brother and sister. I'd be like, okay, well that
Hmm.
answers my question, maybe why he like initially is stalking her only out of everybody.
Yeah.
So like to me, like I guess I'm okay with it.
Hmm.
But I still like that whole spooky aspect that he's just like,
Spooky.
and I feel like maybe that's where like this whole like idea of maybe why he wanted to name it like babysitter like murders or whatever you said. Just
Uh,
because like I can see why maybe that's the original plot of what he was trying to do. And then I think like of how successful it was. He's like, you know what, we kind of had the idea of him like hunting like this random girl. What if we make it a twist that like they're brother and sister? So I guess like I'm
yeah.
okay with that. Do
Yeah.
they ever
He.
explain like a backstory of like why they're brother and sister
Kinda.
or
I
how?
can't. I don't remember exactly. It's been a long time since I've seen Halloween 2 or really like any of the sequels. I did just recently watch Halloween 4,
Hmm.
which is
How
pretty
many are
okay.
there?
There's a lot. So there's Halloween 2, Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and then Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, which is Halloween 6, but there's no number in the title for that one. And there's Halloween Resurrection, I
Holy
think.
shit.
Yeah, Halloween Resurrection, and then there's Halloween H2O, 20 years later. And then there's the Rob Zombie Halloween remake, and then Halloween 2, the sequel to that remake, and then there's the 2018 Halloween movie. So there's quite a few.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I are you interested in going it now that you've seen the first one? Are you interested in watching the sequels at all? Do you think that you would?
To be honest, I probably would watch Halloween 2, and then I
Uh-huh.
think I would probably just skip all the way to the 2018 Halloween.
I think that would be okay.
Just because
I,
Halloween
I
2, like it would be nice to see like what the movie was like right after, you know,
mhm.
all the hype and stuff to see what they kind of plan to do. And then I want to
Uh,
see Halloween 2018 just to see everything. I don't know.
yeah. And Halloween 2 is actually pretty good. You know, what John Carpenter's still writing, and then Halloween 2 takes place like directly after the first movie. Like it happens like basically right after, you know, Michael runs off like after he was shot. Like I think it takes place immediately after that. So it's like the same. I think it's even like it starts that same night basically.
Oh, and they're making a
Um,
Halloween Kills. I forgot about that.
yeah. Um,
Oh, and they had a trailer just 2 hours ago.
oh really?
Yeah, well, that's kind of fun.
Oh, breaking news.
Halloween
That's
Kills
cool.
2 hours ago. I'll
Nice.
have to watch that.
Yeah, same. Cool.
I
I
like the
like.
mask that they did for the new Halloween though, but I
Hmm.
still feel like that original one still has like, you know, and I love because I really wanted them to kind of like talk about how he got this mask or whatever,
Uh,
but I love how all it was him. He just like
he just
broke
picked
into
up
a
the.
store.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was the first thing he grabbed.
he just
And
got the.
I'm like,
Yeah,
you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm fine. Sure.
yeah. Do you know where, like, how they made the mask or whose face that is?
Mm.
It is. It's a mask of William Shatner's face.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So that's William Shatner. I think they had another mask. I think they made another mask or something, but they were like, this. I don't even know if the William Shatner mask was even made for the movie. I don't know. I don't remember the story, but I don't know. I think it might have just been one of those things where like, that's kind of creepy. Let's use that.
It's
And
perfect.
yeah, it is perfect. And the mask kind of changes throughout some of the sequels. Like
Hmm.
it still mostly looks the same, but there's in some of the movies like it just looks off. You're like, I don't know about that one. Um, but uh, but yeah, uh, yeah, I'd be
So out of all
curious.
the cereal, oh, go ahead.
No, you go. Out of all the
I was just gonna say, out of all of, like the
cereals,
serial
Cinnamon
killers,
Toast
like
Crunch.
who, yeah, out of all of them, like who has like the best like mask or like, you know,
I
scary face.
Michael Myers is my favorite of all like the main like masked serial killers in these movies. I think Michael Myers is my favorite. I think he has the best mask. I think he's the creepiest. I mean, in this movie, there's just so many cool shots of him just like standing
Hmm.
there and like he has the best theme music. Um, yeah, he's just pretty cool. He's pretty badass.
I I think mine goes Michael Myers in this Halloween one, and then I would have to say Jason in Space Mask,
Hey,
and then original Jason in Friday the 13th.
nice. Well, wait, and wait, when you say original Jason Friday the 13th, you mean because in the first Friday the 13th movie, you only see him as like the weird looking kid jumping out of the water or whatever. He's a little water boy. Is that the Jason you like, or which one? Friday the 13th Part 2, he has a sack over his head, and then I don't think he gets his famous hockey mask until the third movie. So,
Okay, holy shit! So I guess the third one.
okay. But that's one thing that I like about the Friday the 13th movies is that he changes throughout the
Hmm.
movies, and he has some different looks and like different weapons that he uses. Um, I do like Jason for that. Jason Takes Manhattan or whatever. That's a great one. Um, but Freddy Krueger is pretty freaking creepy too. He's scary because he goes in your dreams and he kills
Yes,
kids and he
the
kills
sack one looks
kids.
nice.
Oh yeah, the sack.
Yeah, it's like kids.
Um,
Yeah, I'm looking at the
the
evolution
sack.
thing that you're just talking about right now.
Nice. Yeah, he's got some.
So the little boy had a sack, then he started having.
Yeah, because in the first movie, remember it's his mom. His mom is the killer
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
first movie.
yeah. Hmm.
Um,
I'm trying to think the last. I probably got confused with. the like newest one then. That's the hard part about like some of these like, because I feel like when I thought of Halloween 2, going back to that one question, like if I had any ideas before or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was like some pieces of Halloween I've seen from like other ones
Uh-huh.
of like, I think maybe, is there a Halloween where he like escapes like somewhere like in custody? Like he's like, I can't remember. I feel like there's one Halloween where he's like escaping like either a mental hospital like in the inside, and he's like beating up and
I
killing like all of them.
I think you're thinking of the Rob Zombie remake, probably.
Okay.
I think that's the one
Yeah.
you're thinking of.
So like
'Cause
that's the hard part about some of these movies is just like they sometimes might blend in so much with each other because of how many there are.
There's so many. There's so many.
But I get it. I mean, it's one of those like cult classic Halloween movies that people probably love
Yeah.
from the very beginning. So they're like, okay, let's just keep making them.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you feel about them like making a Halloween 2018?
I liked Halloween
you-
2018. When they released the trailer, I was well, even before when I saw like Danny McBride was involved and
Yeah, that's true.
Jamie Lee Curtis was gonna be back and everything. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm excited for a new Halloween. Like this could be cool, and I liked it.
So-
It's what? What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, how many like movies did Jamie Lee Curtis play in for Halloween?
I'm not sure. She was in H2O and
Nice.
Halloween 1 and 2, I think, too.
Okay.
I don't even know. And then I think that might be it. Those ones, I think. And then Halloween 3 is an interesting one because so what they wanted to do, like after they did Halloween 2, they're like, okay, well, let's keep making these movies, but like let's turn it into sort of like an anthology series type of thing. So Halloween 3, what they wanted to do is make sequels where the only thing that kind of ties them together is that they all take place like on Halloween or during that time of the year. But have different stories and characters and everything. So Halloween 3 Season of the Witch has nothing to do with Michael Myers. He's not in it at all. Has zero. So people were pissed and people didn't like it. Of course.
What the hell is it about then?
So it's one of these movies where it's kind of gained like a kind of like a cult following because it's actually pretty good, I think, from what I remember. But it's about they're selling like these masks like from some brand. It's called like something Shamrock, and they sell different masks, like a pumpkin mask or like a witch mask, like some really basic like masks that you can buy for Halloween. But there was something I don't remember exactly what they even do, but they did something. I don't know if I don't remember. Honestly, can't remember what they do. Either they kill everyone or something, or they control you, or something weird like that. But something with the masks, and it was an interesting idea. And I would have been interested to see.
Nothing to do with the original.
Yeah, it just had no Michael Myers or anything. They're just like, oh, Halloween.
So how's it tie in with like the whole, just like the fact that it's on Halloween?
Yeah, that's it. Just It's just on Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So that's one that's some people love it, and then a lot of people are like, well, "Where's Michael Myers?"
Can you imagine if that movie, like if Twitter came out during that time?
Oh man, I would if Twitter. I wish that Twitter has been around since like the 50s or something, so we could go back and like.
Just
I would love to go back and be like, "Oh, let's see what people were saying on Twitter about Halloween 3." That would be hilarious.
No, that's so true.
Like, where's Michael Myers? Anyway, so of course, a Halloween 4, Michael Myers returns. So yeah. I don't remember a whole lot about all the sequels, but some of them are pretty good. Some of them are not good. I don't know, but none of them are as good as the original, or really close. But the 2018 one was good, and I think you'll like Halloween 2 and the 2018 one. I'd definitely be curious to see what you think of them. And I'm excited for Halloween Kills.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch this trailer and see
Yeah,
what it's
should
like.
be fun.
I might actually just watch Halloween 2018 and then I'll probably
Ooh,
watch the
do
trailer,
it,
but it
do
probably
it.
won't matter.
Yeah,
I'll probably
do
do
it.
that. I'll
Yeah,
probably do that.
do it, do it, do it. Because the trailer,
But I mean, yeah, exactly. It's gonna help.
yeah,
I mean, spoil.
spoil.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
But I mean, overall, I enjoyed the movie, and it definitely. I don't know. I really enjoyed how you really only got like some small scenes of, you know, towards the end, kind of where Michael Myers, was started killing like all these babysitters and stuff. But like the whole like beginning part of it is him just like driving around, which, impressive that he never got experience, but he knows how to drive.
he figured it
Shout
out.
out to his driver's school in the mental hospital or whatever. But I just liked how, he was like stalking like all these people, and it just had that like scary factor to it. So tons of these jump scares and everything.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think he's creepy. Like whenever you see him,
and he doesn't say
yeah,
anything.
exactly. That's what makes him so creepy. He's just standing there or whatever, and it works. Like I mean, there's just scenes where like, you see his like shadow, like when he kills Bob, like when they're in the room, like you see his shadow go by, and then when he goes back in with the sheet over him and the glasses, uh. Bob the Ghost. That was great. All the kills were pretty cool, and it doesn't like rely on gore or anything. There's like there's really like no gore or anything in this movie, um, but it does feel suspenseful, and it's always creepy, and it has like one of the best scores in a movie ever. I loved it so much. And
it's iconic.
It's one of them. It's definitely it's for sure, if it's not the best horror score, it's definitely the most iconic one that everyone knows.
Recognizable
For
in
sure. And
every
John
way.
Carpenter, he made that, and apparently he made it in like 3 days or something like that. Like he made it real quick in just a few days. Um, and and he was inspired by none other than the Exorcist score and the Suspiria score. So
which makes perfect
right?
sense.
Which those movies both had awesome scores too.
I think I saw something that said they wrote the script of this movie in 10
Oh,
days
really?
as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
which
cool.
is pretty impressive. But I mean, back then, these kind of movies, an hour and a half to them probably felt like a 3-hour movie. And now it's like an hour and a half. Sweet, dude. That's like a Netflix episode and a half. I think that's what I like about a lot of these like classic like scary movies that we have done for like our podcast. For like this whole month so far for like the Halloween season, is a lot of these like classic like scary movies. They're short, but they're sweet, and they get to the point, and they have like a lot of. I don't feel like there's ever a dull moment, and so I really appreciate that. I mean, but what's weird about it is as I was watching Halloween yesterday, and I saw that I had like 20 minutes left, I was like, oh really? I was like, damn, like I thought like there still could have been like at least like 40 minutes left, but okay. So like it's kind of cool like how I don't know the classic.
I agree. There's a time and a place for horror movies to be longer, but for the most part, I feel like horror movies need to be like 90 minutes exactly, because the best ones are like they don't normally, except for how long is The Shining? I know it's definitely longer.
That's gotta be
two
something, like 2.5.
But like it chapter 2, do you know how long chapter 2 is? Yeah,
like
it's like
3
2 hours and 50 minutes. That's way too long.
And remember, that's what a lot of people were complaining about. The Shining was 2 hours and 26 minutes, which perfectly fine. And speaking of that, I want to rewatch that. So,
there's some.
Yeah, It Chapter 2 is.
Yeah, there's things that I liked about It Chapter 2, but I don't think it wasn't great, and it wasn't as good as the first part. And it being, I probably would have liked it more if it was just, if they would have made it like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. It just felt so long, and I was like, oh, it's too long. So I agree with you. There's something nice about these horror movies when they're like 90 minutes.
Well, I mean, Evil Dead 2 was an hour and
Yeah.
24 minutes.
Perfect. Perfect.
So, but yeah, man. I mean, we come to a close of our spooky
Yeah,
season.
I'm kind of sad.
Yeah.
I almost
know.
want to just.
I feel like there's so many other ones I want to
Same.
watch.
I almost want to turn this into just like a horror movie podcast, but we can't do that.
We'll do it. We'll do a spin-off
Yeah.
series.
Well, we'll do this again next year, and we can, probably we'll pick some spooky stuff here and there. But it's been fun watching all these movies this month, and I've enjoyed it.
Yes, it's been a really fun experience, especially seeing some of these movies that I've never seen before.
Heck yeah.
And now being able to be like, hey, like, yeah, like now I've seen all of the Evil Deads, except obviously like the new one in the series. But
That's okay.
I've seen all of that, and then Suspiria, and some of these other ones that maybe aren't like a huge like scary aspect movie, but you have like that thriller aspect to it. So
yeah, man,
it's been a fun experience.
It has been fun.
Can't wait to go on to our next holiday season for Christmas. We're just gonna watch all of the classics, and maybe we'll do some scary Christmas movies.
Hey, Gremlins.
Black Christmas or something like that. Christmas with the Cranks.
Hey, Jingle All the Way 2 with
Jingle All
Larry
the Way.
the Cable Guy.
We'll have to get Bruiser Brad on that episode. Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, baby. That'd be fun.
But I guess like in closing, I mean, love the movie, love the score. And I gave it 4.5 stars. And I think probably if I rewatch, I'll probably give it 5, just because I really enjoyed it a lot.
Awesome, man. Glad you liked it. And I gave it 5 stars, of course. I love it. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's my favorite horror film of all time. And yeah, I can watch it I can always come back to it and watch it. And it's short, like you said. It has such an awesome score. And it's a cool movie, and it has such an awesome just atmosphere to it.
And it's fun to see young Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, she was only 19 when she made this movie.
Low key, bro, she looked like she was like 30.
It's funny because I was thinking about that too. I was like, I think it's just because I'm so used to seeing her so old that she I'm like, oh, she looks the same, but really, it's there's something weird about seeing some actors like that when they're really young. But yeah, she was great in it. She apparently thought that she was doing terrible, and like on her first day, she was like, she was worried that they were gonna fire her. Like she thought she was so bad. And I guess John Carpenter called her like that night and was like, "Hey, you're doing great. You're doing great, Jamie."
I'm glad. Such an iconic role, and I'm glad that she stayed on it.
Yep. Good stuff.
Oh yeah, man. Well, we'll probably announce like our next podcast movies for the movie club. For what day? What is it going to be? Our next episode is it November 8th?
I think. Yeah, that sounds right.
November 8th will be our next episode. So probably next week we'll probably put on Twitter, Instagram, something like that, what our next movie picks are, so you can watch those in preparation for November 8th. So have a happy Halloween and just stay spooky.
Stay spooky. Happy Halloween.
Stay spooky.
Bye, guys.
Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween!
All right, we'll see you, everybody.